So finally they entered Canaan, the land God promised them. After 40 years of wandering in desert, after miracles, the splitting of the sea, and the commandments, did they fulfill their mission? Did they remain faithful, or did they fall again into the same mistakes? After Musa and Aaron passed away, the leadership passed to Yusha, a prophet and a military commander. He led the Israelites into Canaan after battles. For the first time they entered the promised land, what God had promised their ancestors. Yusha divided the land among 12 tribes. This was the era of the judges, prophets, and leaders. They all rule by God's law, and they turn people every time they make mistakes or every time they stray from God. But over time, the people would disobey God, and the pagan nations would invade them. They would cry out and repent, and God would send them a deliverer, and then they will return. And after they repeat the same sin, and slowly corruption crept in. They start again to worship idols like Baal and Ashtaroth. They married pagan women and adopted their practices, ignored their prophets, even killed some. And finally, the tribes fought with each other. There was no unity, no single heart. They demanded of Prophet Samuel, appoint the king for us like other nations. So God appointed Talut, but still they are grumbling. Nothing was ever enough. After time, David and Sulaiman came. David was a prophet, a king, and a warrior. He united the tribes and defeated their enemies and built strong state. Also Sulaiman, a kingdom like no other, built the grand temple, ruled with wisdom. God gave him command over the jinn and the wind. This kingdom faith was strong and matching with the same God spread. But after Sulaiman, again the fall down. This kingdom split into two, north Israel and south Judah. No unity, no law, no one leadership. Pagan worship returned. Some even placed idols inside the temple itself. They offered human sacrifice, including children. Many prophets warned them, but they mocked him. Some prophets were killed. Of course, the judgment came from the east. The Assyrian invaded North Israel, destroyed cities, exiled the people, and Babylon invaded Jerusalem, burned the temple of Suleiman, exiled people to Babylon. So again start the exile and humiliation. But what happened after that? After 70 years in Babylon, some returned and rebuilt a smaller version of temple, but the spirit was gone. The glory was over. Then came the Romans. The Romans struck back hard. They destroyed Jerusalem again, burned the temple into the ground, exiled the people. From that day, they had no homeland, lived as strangers and exiled, scattered across the earth, driving from country to country. Europe, Russia, the Middle East, always accused of treachery, arrogance, and lies. What we should learn about this from a nation that began with miracles, freed from slavery, gifted with divine law, empowered with kings and prophets, but they chose arrogance and betrayal. So they fell, and their fall was not political, it was spiritual. The message of this story is not just about Israelis. God doesn't empower people because of their bloodline. Empowerment is for those who live by the truth, regardless of their names, and whoever betray the message will pay the price, even if they are descendants of prophets.